also have with us our CEO, Sir Kiran DMG. Uh, he is joining with our Swachhata Fellows from Mumbai, and we welcome you, sir, to this meeting. A very warm welcome to you. And I welcome each and every one of us present here, our Swachhata Fellows, our Strategic Intervention Fellows, and we welcome Miss Nikita Jaiswal. She's our project manager and she'll be moderating today's session. So I give it over to ma'am. Ma'am, please take over the session.
Yeah, thanks, Pridarshini. A very good morning to all and good morning, Mr. Kiran.
Good morning.
Okay, so I'll brief about ONGC Foundation and the work we are working on. So as we know that ONGC Foundation is a trust created in 2014 for to augment and take our initiatives and work in the field of CSR, social corporate social responsibility, and we are working in multiple thematic areas and touching the lives of many people with the projects running directly and taking initiative and grassroots level organizations. Apart from working in multiple areas, this year we have launched two fellowship. One is on Swachhata Fellowship and Urjak Fellowship, and other one is Shilp Vidya Ke Udan Ke Sayogi. So this Swachhata and Urjak Fellowship is a fellowship. It's a fellowship which we are. I request everyone to please kindly mute your mic. Pridarshini, can you mute everyone, please? Yeah, thank you. Sorry. All right. So I was saying, yeah. So we have launched two fellowship this. One fellowship is on Swachhata and Urjak Fellowship. It is on the project where more than 7,000 toilets has been created across 5,000 plus schools in Pan India. And it was done in under Swachh Bharat mission in 2014 onwards. And that school toilets has been created long back. But now we wanted to know the condition of the toilet, whether it is functional or dysfunctional. So it came as a challenge to ONGC Foundation how we will study and understand the condition of those toilets and get it repaired in case if required, repair for the dysfunctional toilets. So when it came as a challenge, we didn't take it as a challenge. We see it as an opportunity. We find that we know that there are young, passionate, young people on ground who can reach out to those toilets easily and can bring a change in the community. So we bring in the model of fellowship where right now we have 15 or Swachhata fellows with us who are based out of district and state levels. We have we have around 200 Urjak fellows across Pan India of different states at block level. These fellows will be handling multiple schools who will be going on field doing the survey estimation, and on that basis it will be taken forward for the repair purpose. There will be also addition that just repair will not make sense. Later on, it will again become dysfunctional. To minimize that issue, we are bringing in the concept of awareness through IEC, which will bring the change in their mindsets. So with this motive, we have already initiated this fellowship, and we have a cohort of fellows with us who has joined as a participant today. And the other fellowship is about Swachh Shilp Vidya Ke Udan Ke Sayogi. It's a fellowship where we have initiated 6 projects as of now under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, where we are doing handicraft projects on ground with different arts and handicrafts, and we are picking up each states, and in each states we are picking up unique arts. So we are getting implementing partner with us who will be delivering this project, and the direct beneficiaries are those artisans who are doing wonders in this field. But when we started this project in the journey, we found out that there are many challenges. We realized that it require interventions in terms to understand how we can mitigate those challenges. Those challenges were more related towards marketing, design, the texture, the packaging. Then we bring in the concept of strategic fellowship, where these fellows will be coming, these fellows and interns will be coming from different institute. Those institute will be packaging institute and designing institute. They will be coming from the institute where they know how they can work with these grassroots level organization. So we will be letting them going on field and interacting with these artisans directly and helping them how they can bring upliftment in their skills. So this fellowship we already launched, and we have a set of team here. So I'm just keeping my words limited, and I'll just proceed further with the process of this session. So Priyadarshini, over to you.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, so I would now like to request Ankur, who's one of our strategic intervention fellows, to do a brief introduction of Mr. Kiran. Ankur.
Pan India level இப்போ நம்ம contacts தெரியுமா Mumbai
Sorry to
morning, sir.
interrupt, but those who are not talking or not speaking, kindly please mute your mic. Unless you are asked to speak, please mute your mic, everyone. Yeah, Ankur, please proceed.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Ankur. I'm a Silpidya Ke Udan Ke Sayogi fellow. I'm working with multiple handicrafts around the nation to bring upliftment in the artisan's life and develop their skills and develop their products as well. So right now we have Mr. Kiran Chukkapalli sir with us, and talking about his past, he has been a professional entertainer and an entrepreneur, and right now he is the founder of Think Peace and has started a beautiful initiative of Refugee Aid project. He has traveled throughout the nation a lot to understand the ground realities of all these tribal hamlets per se, and through his beautiful initiative of how these tribals have the poverty mindset, and that big hurdle and challenging it and overcoming it is the life goal of Kiran Chukkapalli sir. And right now he has traveled to multiple tribal hamlets to understand the challenges of the people. Even when talking about these tribal hamlets, there are multiple forces working there. There are extremist forces as well working there. So it becomes really challenging to challenge to overcome that mindset, poverty mindset, and to provide them a sustainable development a framework for them. So building their capacity and building capacity for them for their livelihoods to bring sustainable livelihood is the life goal of Kiran sir. I would ask Nikita ma'am to take it forward from here.
Thank you so much, Ankur. I would now like to request Kiran sir to take the session. Sir, please.
Thank you. Namaste, everyone. It is a deep honor to meet all the ONGC fellows, and it is always a deep honor to even spell his name for me, because I look up to him so much, Mr. Kiran DMG. Somehow, like, we haven't worked together much, but every time I need something, somehow that's one of the first names that pops up in my mind. So that's the kind of confidence he gives to someone who meets him. So thank you so much, Kiranji, for all that support that you've been giving me. And I'd like to thank Priyadarshini ji also for coordinating this whole thing, and Nikita Jaiswal ji, who have, introduced and, taking this talk forward. And then Ankit ji, Ankur ji, thank you so much for the introduction. So namaste, as Ankur ji said, My journey at social work have started very young within my family, and after that, I think around the age of 6 or 7, I was doing dance rehearsals to perform in my school annual day. The rehearsals used to happen just above a library, in the top of the library. And then I remember after my rehearsals, I came down from the library to the library, and then I got this very tiny Telugu book, which is my mother tongue, of 30 greatest warriors of Bharat, or something like that. So in that, I remember somehow, I read about Allur Sitaram Raju, Garu, who is one of our biggest, strongest leaders, and also Swami Vivekananda ji. When I read about them, like then I did not know. I wouldn't say that that was the changing moment or something. Now, when I look back, why did this start? So I think I would talk about that moment. So I've understood somehow the whole their attire and their work, and then their sacrifice at a young age have had a deep impact on me. And in the next 6 years, I started reading. I wanted to learn yoga, because if you look at both of them, they had a yoga background and a discipline background. They come from the scriptures of Bharat. So I've tried to understand the scriptures, and by 12, 13, I was very clear that I want to take this path, but I did not know how to do it. And the hormones kicking in, and then everything available around for me, it was like a hard journey for me to fight between the idea of becoming someone like Allur Sitaram Rajgaru or Swami Vivekananda, to all the, as I said, too many distractions that was happening. So during this time, I had no one to look up to in my life. All my friends, we were just having fun playing cricket and doing all the things that we do in Bharat, and my parents would never understand, or no one would actually even think about it. So I was the only friend that I had was the Vedas and the Bhagavad Gita and the scriptures. So I used to I could always say that, almost say that, secretly used to read them and understand them as much as possible. And whenever I had time, I used to go to Sadagrama, in Rishikesh, as an ashram during my summer holidays, try to understand. So it was a fight between my hormones versus, my whole idea of what I want to be in life. So I think it was around the age of 19. Wow, I was very clear that for me, Bharat stands for two things, that is service and spirituality. And then I wanted to imbibe those qualities into me. I wanted to become Bharat. That is, so I wanted to live in my life in service and spirituality. And then it took another 3 to 4 years for me to understand. And then during that time, I did a Bharat Yatra starting from Rishikesh. I went to all the ST areas like in Jharkhand and West Bengal and Orissa, because that was another reason, because like one of my gurus told me, go and try to work in an area where you can get nothing back from them. So I know that because of the reservations or something, this will not be politically motivated to go and work in SC/ST area. Thankfully, I at least knew that much by that age. And then I was like, okay, let me go and work, try and there, because that would maybe be a selfless work. So that's how I stumbled upon these villages. After that, for 3 years, I went and back, and then I did a lot of research, and I've seen the mental poverty the people are going through, because everyone kept telling them like a lot of different ideologies told them that you're good for nothing, someone from above should come and lift you up. And the extremists would tell them that everyone is cheating you need to fight with us. So everyone's telling them that you're not good for this. So somehow that have brought them down mentally, and then I've understood that. So I wanted education and sport and healthcare to come into it. But again, it is not about forcing to them, is what I've understood. So I took solar lights, because that's overnight, it can make a difference and give them confidence on us. Like I've mentioned many times, that for 2 years I was not even offered water when I was going around those villages. A young boy going around villages, no one even wants to talk to them. So it used to be again a fight within myself, between my ego, and that I want to come and do something, they don't even care, so why should I do it? That thought pops up. But then my scriptures always told me to stay ground, keep working, because I've always understood that, I've learned it over time. The wait is never a punishment, it is a preparation. So I've understood that my waiting was kind of, I was preparing myself deeply within. And once I had a chance, I understood solar is the thing. Overnight I can make a difference. So I've mapped 55 tribal villages. And again, who is going to build this together with me? That matters a lot, because this is, I'm sure all the fellows who are working on ground will go through this at some point of time, that all the people that you grew up with will never understand what you want to do, because this is not what you were talking with them. So when you meet people, when you spend time with them, let's say you're playing cricket, you were only going to play cricket. You're going to a movie, you're only talk about movies. But unfortunately or fortunately, those people will only see you having fun with them in that movie. So when you talk something big, something massive, something life changing that you want to do, they don't want to take you seriously, or they may even think that, okay, this guy is fake, this guy is not this. This is something new that he's coming up with. So slowly you will not have anyone to talk to. So again, that time it was always the scriptures and the gurus that have guided me. So I've understood that I've picked a few people that I thought, okay, that may help me, like 6-7 people. With their help, I've lit up all these 55 tribal villages with solar light. And after that, there was no looking back. Slowly we expanded that to 230 villages, and then the people started loving us. So all these villages never saw electricity until 2010. They were living on kerosene lamps. Suddenly overnight, like I remember, like the villages that never gave me water. Like I remember the first time I gave this light to first village, the next day morning, they were coming with buckets of water so that, we can take shower. So that after that, there was no looking back. I've won the people, and then with the next 2-3 years they would start understanding what is this work about. So slowly we have built 42 schools that we still run in the tribal area, and then we have built a dynamic women centric healthcare program that serves about 22,000 people on a daily basis in tribal area. So in this process of 6-7 years, I have lived in the villages, lived with the people, and then I have learned things that I would never learn otherwise. Like how to listen to people. Like rather than telling them what is good for them, let it come from the people. Always, because then your work is half done. Because they are ready to receive it, and then they're ready to come out and work on it. Because the idea, again, from the scriptures, I would always go back to this, because I'm so proud of my what the only thing that stood by me was my scriptures. So it's like, always tell us, liberate, not handicap anything. So what my vision always was, how to liberate these people. So I remember telling to my friends that the day these people don't need us, that is when we are successful. Until then, we keep working on this. So for that, we need to listen to them. And everything that we built, like all the 42 schools that we built, we have never paid a single rupee for labor. Never. It is only people has to come up, and then they have to build it, and then they have to give the land. What is not available in the villages, only those things we gave. And today it's been 4 years, most more 3.5-4 years, I've not even been to the villages, and then they run so perfectly. And then they've already started 4 new schools in the last 1 year after COVID. And the healthcare workers, it works seamlessly. Of course, we have built a lot of systems, we have used softwares, we have a dashboard, we've used all the technology for me to monitor, but then they don't need me anymore. So that's when I'm successful, because I'm not attached to this work. I'm working. My goal is to find a place, solve it, and then move on to the next one by taking the people that have come together for that, and also the experience that we have gathered there. So with that experience and everything, so I've started already started researching on the refugee situation in Bharat. So I would say, like, the refugee community in Bharat is probably the most preferably ignored community on planet Earth. This is, I'm not trying to exaggerate, but this is what I felt when I went on ground. These are people that have stuck to their roots. Like Swami Vivekananda ji said, that's where I've started the refugee yatra that you were mentioning earlier, where I started in Kanyakumari, and then I did a 13,000 kilometer yatra. where I went, I stayed in the camps, I listened to people. I remember not speaking anything to them. I was just listening to them and then documenting whatever they were saying. My thing was only questions, never suggestions. So I've documented a lot of problems. And then, I went to Kanyakumari, where Elam Tamils are there, Sindhanur, where Bangladeshi Hindus all the way from Bangladesh, Khulna district, have come to Karnataka. And then I've met the Sindhi community in Mumbai, who are like ultra rich and have no connection to the poor people that are what other fellow people are going from Sindh province, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab, Delhi, and Arunachal Pradesh, where I am right now. I'm right now working with the Chakma brothers and sisters here. So when I went across these areas, I've understood that this is one community where the problem is so huge that they went through skepticism, and then they were culturally slaughtered in many ways. Like in Sindh province around alone, 1,340 girls go missing every year. That's a massive number. There are, if you look at the Jewish persecution that the whole world talks about, which is absolutely horrible. You're talking about 6 million Jewish brothers and sisters slaughtered. But whereas in Pakistan and Bangladesh alone, 69 million Indic people are missing. So this is 12% bigger than a Holocaust. And then this is going on for 70 years, whereas the peak of the Holocaust was 6 years. So again, 10 times longer than that. So this is the biggest genocide that the planet have ever seen, but yet there is not a single document on this. So that I've understood that these people need more than anything else. So my idea was to go to the people that are displaced and stateless and try and figure out ways on how to serve them. So after this yatra, I've released the research report, which was actually with great support of Kiranji, who gave me a lot of inputs during that time. And in this research report, there are a lot of facts that we got from the ground. And then as a reply to that, we have released Action Plan 1, on which we have supported 167,000 stateless refugee people that were never part of any documentation before. They were non-existing. They were absolutely non-existing before. And then we have released Action Plan 2.0, the works that are happening right now. I'm like maybe a 1 hour flight time from China and Burma here, Myanmar right now. That's how far these people are. And then we are building the schools and everything. By the end of this, we'll be touch basing about 260,000 people that were again not part of any documentation. Like one of our volunteers, she wanted to do a PhD on this the Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, the refugee situation in India. And then she was trying to do a PhD in European countries. And then she says that there was not one PhD or any document presented ever in the history. So and whereas if you look at other community in Europe, there are about 800 900 PhDs done on how Europe is not taking care of the communities. So which is very good. Everyone needs the support, but why preferably ignoring this community? It needs a much deeper introspection for each and everyone. That is a different topic altogether. But so this is the issue. So our idea right now, what we are working on is the socio-economic development. That is, these people have already come here and then they need food, they need shelter. So we are building systems such a way that the moment they come, let's say from Pakistan into Bharat, we are giving them a place to stay. And then from there, for 5 to 6 months, we give them groceries. And then followed by that, during that time, we also help them to settle down or get a job and then not become an economic burden to the nation. And at the same time, they'll be able to take care of themselves. After 6 months, they move out of the facility that we give them. So this is our ultimate goal, one of the goals. And then we are also working on the policy on the other side. So this has been the journey, and as I said, I know one of the things that I would especially to the fellows I want to say is, first and most important thing, listen to people as much as possible, and then one important thing that I've learned is how to encourage skepticism, because everyone is going to doubt you, everyone is going to ask you something or the other, like, why you are getting into. So I don't know if you're going to give 100% of your time, like the way I'm doing, because that raises a lot of questions. So I always like to encourage skepticism rather than telling who are you to question me. Rather than bringing that ego or all those things into the game. Our idea should always to be humble, and then to overcome that skepticism. They are even showing for me, if someone is showing skepticism towards the work that we are doing, that is a great opportunity for me to make an ally there, rather than trying to be hating them because they are questioning me. I try to overcome that skepticism, and then they become the strongest members of our teams. This has been a learning. Like today, we are very active in US in about 12, 13 cities. Our volunteers are mostly from Australia and other countries. So all of that is happening only because of the impact. And like if you see all this work that I'm talking about, the refugee work is done in the last 2 years. In 2 years, this much of impact was only possible because of all the volunteers and all the people that have supported this work. So this is what I would like to share, and then I'd like to take any questions or take it forward the way Nikita ji wishes.
Thank you so much for taking us through the journey and letting us know how it's been. I mean, working on ground, it's not easy. So, if we go further with the question and answer round, before I'm asking participant to ask any question if they have. I myself wanted to ask one thing. Like, I wanted to know, like, working in ground's never been easy. I've been also in this development sector. I understand going on ground and we're talking to people and making them understand that why you are here and what will make the change, what impact it will bring. It's not easy, not at all. But in your journey, I'm curious to know, like the topic is totally different. It's all about making those people, like you're saying, it's non-existent. So if you wanted to understand their story, the journey not at all will be might have been easy. So what made you uh, what I can say, what made you keep going in this, that what motivated you actually to work towards this particular cause, that in spite of
So
having so many challenges on ground, what keep you motivated?
see, challenges are something, so for someone who follows Dharma, challenges are, something, a fun thing for us, because the first thing that we learn is Shuddha Sattva Guna. That is, on how to live balanced life, like, and coming about hardships and, sadness, happiness, like in Bhagavad Gita, like Krishna ji says, Matras Parshastu Kaunteya, Shitoshna Sukha Dukkadaha, Agama Payino Anitya, Tanstitikshasva Bharata. That means he says that happiness and sadness are like winter and summer. One follow on another. One who is remains balanced despite those is a yogi. So that is what we try to, and I understand, there are a lot of problems that come, there are a lot of happy moments that come, but they come and go. Our focus, I always believe that it is the focus and attention are our biggest strengths. So that's been the focus. The focus is very clear, that Bharat, how do we develop together? And then how do we my particular specialty or a goal that I've developed is I go to areas where they're completely ignored and try to work there. And then because I'm going to a completely unknown area where no one have worked before, the what happens is that it's so, because I anyways have no idea, we don't know what it is there. So I have no moral superiority when I go to the people. I think I don't show any moral superiority that I know and then I want to do something for you. I just go and then I just listen to the people, and then they come up with what they want, and then I just make sure that everything falls in place for that. So the goals are very clear then, as said, and I think it is, again, the Shuddha Sattva Guna, we try to be balanced. Yes, there are a lot of hardships, there are a lot of insults, you'll be lied to, a lot of things happen. But again, I have no anger towards the people that leave us or lie to us or anything, because somewhere I have allowed that to happen. So I again try to go back and then work on myself, and then see where did I do that, and then try to overcome my own self as much as possible. So that gives me a kind of a peace. And then getting to this mindset was again not an easy. Yes, it's been hard. And as I said again, it's the balance. It's balance that what Krishna ji have taught us. I take it forward.
Thank you so much. Uh, we have a message from Sir Kiran sir. He wants you to talk a little on, give us and share the idea about that Anganwadi that you work and done and created a curriculum, and also about honey marketing.
Sure. So Anganwadi work that we did was, as I said, again, when I first went to the villages, I've understood that Anganwadis were only serving as a lunch place. No, there was no classes going on. There was nothing happening. So after that, I thought, okay, rather than disturbing the whole system, and then it works in a very different way. Like I'm sure all of you are aware of an organization called CITU. All the teachers are enrolled under that CITU, so the government cannot punish them, because the moment you say something, all of them are going to be protesting on the roads, and then the government doesn't want to take that risk. We also have to think about every side, like why the teachers are not being told anything, why the government is not. It is very easy for us to blame on the government, but it's not that easy. The system is not that easy. So the schools were not happening, and then we had 100,000 teachers working in there. So I've understood, okay, let the system go as it is. Let us see how we can intervene into that. So what we did was we tried to do a lot of things. I had some professors in Rutgers University who helped me with some things, and then we went all the way to US, bought some stuff. And we did so many things. We failed miserably in all of those, literally. Like after 1 week they get bored, and then they would never touch them again. So then we understood, rather than, again, that's where the learning comes. Rather than trying to bring something to them, let us evolve their own lifestyle into a curriculum. So that's when we have developed a complete curriculum through singing and dancing, which is their core culture. Like for example, if you look at the extreme organizations that work there, they attract people through singing and dancing. So why not we develop the kids with the same singing and dancing strategy? And then after this, there was already a few curriculums like that working around in the tribal area. So we also took the inspiration, and then we started listening to people. We trained the tribal people that are already good with the kanjari, which is a local thing. And then over time, we have developed a curriculum for 2 to 6 year old kids, because the government schools, and also one of the problems, sorry, I missed, is that when we went to that area, when we did the research, there was 100% enrollment in the schools. That means to give education to their children was there in their mind, but the dropout rate was somewhere between 70 to 90%. So that was because the language was different. Like in these 230 villages we work, there are 3 different languages altogether. No, so when they go to at 6 or 7 years to the government school, they teach in the local native state language, and then the kids have no idea about it, and then they drop out, and then they never go. And then even coming to the educated people, few of them have educated themselves, but then after that, like how to say that, like they come back home with a lot of ego and baggage, that I'm educated, I'm not going to go to the field, and then their education will not even give them job, so they become useless for the community. So they did not have great what do you feel of the education also. So that way the system was collapsing. So we thought, let us strengthen the government schools by teaching the kids from 2 to 6 year old through their own singing and dancing. So today we developed it, and then we also give them a nutritious snack other than what Anganwadi gives, where Anganwadi operates. And then today we have so many schools, and then the best part about is, until now we have never heard a single student dropping out that have went from our schools into the government schools, which I consider as one of the biggest successes in that school thing. And coming to the honey farming, so we have coming to the honey farming. Yes, we have you can say, like, I would say that it's the gold that we have, because that honey will never come from any other place on the planet except Araku Valley, because we have a flower that goes called Nizer, which has this really sour, oily. It's a mustard family basically. So what we do is we take only in one, like this is right now this is the harvest time, and then we get a limited this thing, and then we try to, ONGC is our biggest supporter for honey marketing, and then so whatever profits we get, again we bring it back into the system. So we put it back to run the schools. So that is how we made the organization sustainable today. So we don't raise funds anymore to run this that massive scale of organization, and everything is going on from within the community. It is run by the tribals. It is now sourced by the tribals, and then in the future also it will be run by the tribals, hopefully.
Thank you so much. It was really interesting to know how things happen and how it make change to the society. So,
Thank you.
okay, so I let this session open for participant to ask questions. Anyone wanted to ask any questions? Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm Bikash. I'm from Assam. I'm a fellow. Exactly.
Namaste, Bikash.
Yes, sir. Hi, sir.
Namaste.
Namaste, sir. Actually, I want to ask that about the organization mainly. The people think that they have the mindset that they are always give the fun or something. They will give the health thing only, the only not by the money, something by the food, or they are expecting something. The people's mindset like that now only. So what can we do for the community to change the mindset of the organization or of any NGOs?
Okay, that is a great question, Vikash. See, how I see is I listen to them first, as I said. So yes, they want things. They take NGOs for granted also, because we have to understand that there are NGOs that have that have used people to become whatever they want to, right? So the people have the right to be skeptic. As I said, it is our thing to overcome that. And then so I always feel that listen to the people as much as possible, and then try and convince them, be with them, and then talk to them as much as possible. Communication is the key. And then as they see you are being honest, and everything will go through. Like, for example, if you look at this right now, if you don't mind, I will move a little bit. So this is the school that we yeah. This is the school that we are right now working on. If you can see, like, this was literally leaking and everything. And then 2 years back, I had no idea about any of the people here. I did not even know them. And today we have not paid a single rupee of labor to this. And then you can see the teachers are here, the villagers are here. They've just stopped the work because the call is getting disturbed. So this was completely built by the villagers today. And then I did not even know them 2 years back. So it is again, as I said, it started very small. Like, first I came here, I understood, they don't trust easily outsiders, because they have gone through so much. They have gone through so much of pain that, you can't even think about, the Chakma Hajong community. So, so they have gone through so much. So I said, okay, let me do something small. So a lot of kids did not have textbooks and all that. So immediately we did it with a lot of, fast work. And then they have understood, okay. And then it is always good to sit with them. So what I do is I categorize the works. So first thing is always, let's say you need roads, you need XXX. So you sit with the villagers, talk to them, you make a list of things that they need. In this, the first thing, what is it that we can get from the government? So let's say there is a road, government can give that. So teach the villagers on how to get that, write a letter or whatever it is to get the road. And then the next thing comes, what are you going to give? Let's say, okay, we need to build a school. So what are you going to give? You have land, you have sand, you have labor, and then you can dig and you can do all those works. So that is what you give, and we come the last. So that way, slowly the mindset changes. They understand, okay, this is a progressive work. So what happens today is that they will come forward, and then they will start working. It takes years, 2 to 3 years of time to for that process to happen. But once you overcome that, there is no looking back after that, for the love of the people. I'm talking about the genuine love of the people. Did I answer your question?
Yeah,
Because
so thank you, sir. Actually, I want to ask one more question. Can I ask?
yeah, I mean, it is Nikitaji's floor.
Actually, I want to ask that now the government is the giving the freebies. I'm speaking the exact the raw word, the freebies to the society. So the giving the freebies, the society become the dependent on the government. The before it was not like that. So by giving by having that the freebies, the society become lazy, or they don't want to take any initiative by them. So what can we do in a such way to become to sustain our culture as simultaneously as the we can grow as a socio-economically strong?
Yeah, that is a great question. Again, education, going back and educating the people is what all we can do. Because you can maybe share the examples of how what happened to Venezuela, or our neighboring brothers, Sri Lanka. We can always give examples like that, or you can see the economy of my own state, what is happening there, and then the Tamil Nadu, or some places where there are a lot of freebies going on. So we can only state examples. That's all I can say. But yes, there are a lot of things that where government need to also give some things, like quality education and healthcare, I feel should always be available for people. But unfortunately, that's not being there at the quality. But then that's where organizations like ONGC and bigger organizations come into the picture. They build toilets, like smaller organizations like that. Whatever we can do, like 9 schools we are working right now here, we'll try to help the government and stand with the government. I think there can never be an organization bigger than a government in a country. I strongly believe that. And then we should always try to work as much as possible with the government. And then at the same time, raise our voices when there is a need for that. And then educate the people also. Because the government is made by us in the end.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bikash.
Thank you, Kiranji, and thank you, Vikas, for asking question. We have one question as a message from Chinmoy that he wants to know what is the biggest project you did.
The biggest project is right now what I'm on. I would say one of the biggest projects is actually building a sports stadium in tribal areas. So there is a lot of sport enthusiasm in tribals. We all know about it. Their natural instinct and all that. So we built a stadium where at least 3,000 people can sit and watch a game. And then that was also a very big need because they were fantastic in volleyball. Like for example, we have arranged games of we do something called Allur Sitaram Raju Champions Trophy every year. Out of this, we have picked the best 15 people, and then we have arranged matches for them with the Indian Navy, and then we won 3-0. Like 3-0 down and under. So that's the kind of talent they had. But whenever they went to selections, they couldn't excel at all, because they had the fear of people watching them and staring them and all that. So that's why we built a stadium every year. Like 4,000 people come for those matches. Now they have become very good, and a couple of them are part of the national team also from that area. So that for me is one of the biggest things, and also probably my last project in tribal area before I came out and then started working across Bharat. So I would say that gives me a lot of satisfaction whenever I look back. And then Allur Sitaram Raju all over the stadium is his just his aura is there. So I really enjoyed whenever I go back into that stadium.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We have one of the Swachhata fellow with us. I'll ask Shivani to ask her question, please.
Okay. Hello, sir.
Namaste.
I'm Shivani. I'm Swachhata fellow. I'm from Visakhapatnam, Mumbai. So,
Namaste, Shivani.
my question is, so in Swachhata project, we are heading to phase 2, that is IEC activities. Like we will go on ground to the villages, schools, and we'll be taking sessions like the IEC sessions, like going towards aiming towards behavioral change. So my question is that there are so many cultures that they have practices that they have been practicing for so many years, the village level people. So now that we are going and we'll tell them to change certain practices that they already have in their lifestyle. So they will be, like you said, some skepticism and also from reluctance, that negativity that we will not be doing. So what is that one thing that you want to suggest us? Because you have been working with the villagers and things. So what is that strategy that you followed? And I understand that we need to build a trust, but it is also that we lack in time. So with that short period of time, what strategies can we adopt to uh, change the mindset of people, or at least try to change the mindset of people?
See, sometimes there will be only one way, that is to build a trust. Because see, just imagine some stranger coming to you and telling you to change. So the same thing, right? Just because we know doesn't mean we show that moral superiority on people. So that is definitely there, that is the way. But yes, as you said, time is a constraint. So the best thing would be to explain very clearly as much as possible, rather than just being as vague as possible. I don't know your presentation, but I'm just telling you generally. Like, for example, everything has a beautiful reason that came in the villages. Everything has a deep root scientific reasons also. But sometimes they are needed. So over time, it's traditions are like mango. Like when they're kacha, people like it. Some people like it. When they become really ripe, everyone loves it. And one day, even that has to be rotten and gone. So their times change all the time. So it's like for everything. Like we have a reason, like why their bangles have come into the into our culture, or the bindi have come into a culture. There is a deep rooted psychological reason to that, and then scientific reason to that. But again, if you're buying those stickers and putting it, actually that is gone. So you need to tell them the scientific reason why it came and why it is not needed now, because it doesn't actually serve the purpose. And then maybe it is time to change. So it has to be a patient, humble language as much as possible to explain to them and break it down as clearly as possible. There is a chance they may go through it, but I don't know.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
So there are so many questions coming up. So we can, because of the paucity of time, we can take one last question. Ankur, you raised your hand. You wanted to ask. You can unmute and ask your question, please.
Yeah, hi once again, sir.
Yes, Ji. Please tell me.
Yeah. So, sir, actually, when you were talking about that honey marketing initiative, I wanted to ask a few questions over that. So, basically, we know in tribal places, people have lack of land, and whatever land they have, they use it to, grow whatever food crop they use around the year. So, it is their bread and butter, and whatever food they grow there, it is for their own personal usage, and they get their lunch, dinner, breakfast, whatever is from the land itself. So changing that and asking them to make grow a cash crop, it is a very difficult process, that I understand. And by I mean, it takes time, obviously, to sink that mindset in them, that if they grow this cash crop, they might have a surplus amount of cash that they can use to have a sustainable livelihood. And a development perspective, when we think it through a development perspective, they might have a better standard of living per se. So I was when I am indulged in this handicraft project, it's almost somewhat the similar thing. There is a less turnout of artisans in the production units that we have said, because they want to work in their fields, because that is their bread and butter per se at this stage. So what would be your approach to increase the efficiency of just fasten the process of getting them on this track?
See, thank you, Ankur, for giving that question. So see, honey crop versus artisan, they are two different things altogether for me.
Right.
So artisan, yes, we need to give them work, we need to make them their time more efficient. But for honey or cash crops, as I said, that's why actually in our honey we say limited edition. There is not a single plant that we asked them to put until now, despite that being a good source of turnout of donation for the organization. Never have we done it, and then never will we do it. And then I'm absolutely proud about the way the tribals conduct their lives, and they are not at all physically poor. Like, for example, during COVID time, I was in Vizag. The slums were starving, and my people did not even ask me single rupee for food. They were self-sustainable. They did not need anyone, whereas the slums needed so much work that we, thankfully we could do. So tribals are a sustainable people. They are having a rich life, and then I think that should be their decision whether they want to develop or they want to stay there. I don't think anyone should be telling them anything. No one has, I think, a right. But what they need is education and healthcare, which is basic, so that in case one day the world goes to them, they're ready for them. Rather than make milli subbing. So all we can do is keep them ready and let them explore. So we have never asked anyone to plant anything. We are not into cash crops and all that. If the people ask it, we will do it.
Actually, I had one more question, if I can ignore.
Thanks, Ankur. We got one more message in the chat box. So it's a question. Came to know that if you would like to share the experience of the local support as well as opposing team who are there to oppose for their personal benefits and the command in the place and people.
Yeah, see, that is always there. Wherever you go, the politics are there, especially with the blood of Indian. We take politics wherever we go. So it always is there. But as I said, we just need to know when to raise our voice and when to be absolutely underground. Until you are sure that you have a complete people support, you should just keep your head down, no egos, nothing, just keep working for the focus, keep on the focus. So once you have the love of the people, there is nothing anyone can do. Like, for example, in tribal areas when we started, the extremist groups used to demand me, like, every 10 lights you give, you need to give us 3 lights or something like that. So thankfully we have never given into that. But over time what happens is that like today, as I said, for the foundation day of Think Peace, there are 4,000 5,000 tribals that come without any transportation or anything available to them. They just come purely to bless for one day. So the same people that were not even giving me water, or calling me inside the house when I was under the trees in the nights, living in the tents and all that. So that change came because we have overcome the skepticism. Yeah. So once you have the people love, all these negative forces will have to move away. They will keep troubling you, and you'll have to keep working on how to overcome those things.
Thank you so much. I think we are already getting too many questions now also. So for those who wanted to ask question, we can take those question and we can share with the Kiran ji and we can get the response from him directly.
Sure,
So
it'll be more than fun.
Sure. Thank you so much. So moving forward, if I have to wrap up this session, I could say that through your journey, we understood that it's not easy to be on ground, but still, if you have a passion, you have that connect where you've spoken about the service and spirituality. If it goes hand in hand, you can achieve your target and you can at least be at peace. And if you come with a message to spread love and with the passion you want to dedicate towards the social service, so you can achieve anything in life. And at least if you inculcate the behavior and bring out the change in the process of giving, so you can do wonders on ground. So it's not easy always to be and make the community, because if you keep on try to change them instead of changing them, if you listen to them and you understand what they actually require, you can at least bring change and transform the lives of others. So this is really encouraging. So thank you so much, Kiranji. Now
Thank you.
I'll hand over this to Priyadarshini for vote of thanks, please.
Right, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, Kiran sir. You have like really inspired all of us. Sir, I really resonated with one thing that you said, like weight is not a punishment, it's a preparation. And like in this day and age of Instagram reels where we get like boost of serotonin in every 30 to 40 seconds. So it is really important to learn how to like wait patiently. And it is like a very beautiful message that we can all take away and like implement in the social sector as we move forward. So thank you so much, sir, for taking the session today.
Thank you.
It is really wonderful. Thank you everyone for attending today's session. Thank you, Nikita ma'am, for moderating this session beautifully. Thank you, Kiran sir. Um, and I would also like to thank all of the Swachhata Fellows, the Strategic Intervention Fellows, and all of the Urjak Fellows who have joined us today, and every other participant and employee of ONGC Foundation. Thank you so much, everyone, and hope we all have a beautiful day today. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste, namaste, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.